Be what you are.
Be what you are. And be the light. God knows yours. You can't get by. Ain't coming back. Just what you are. And live the life.
And the other thing I was thinking of today is, not that this has ever happened, which is sad, but is it better to have someone after you have sex say you were great, or is it better that they say you were great during having sex? See, what I'm saying is, if they say that afterwards, it's sort of like an afterthought, like, well, you know, maybe they were feeling uncomfortable about their performance, so they say this about you to kind of draw attention away from their perception of bad performance, of their own bad performance. Or they just wanted you to feel good about something that really was sort of like just okay for them, because they could see that maybe you were having a good time. So they just wanted to, like, sort of reinforce that good feeling, and then they go away and you never see them again. I don't know, or during the thing it should be, this is great. That's when, but maybe you're concentrating too much on, like, you know, pacing, and, you know, it's like, it's a bodily function thing, like that sound, I don't like that, maybe the person's not going to like that sound, I shouldn't make that sound, and you're too involved in that. So, but if you are, then maybe you're really not. You should be, like, just out of your mind and not thinking about it, and just making little squealing noises that you never make at any other time in your life, except see, this is...
If you're a preacher, be what you are. Don't preach God's word, but stand firm. But tell the world of His great love. Be what you are, and live the life.
Howdy folks, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the art villa found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. And today I'm coming to you after the big Mad Bad Voodoo shout out back to me, Manic Mark. I want to thank him for that. Very nice guy. Straightforward. You won't get that here. So everything I do is couched in abstraction here. I don't even know how. Whenever this happens, occasionally it happens and a bunch of new subscribers will come in, and I never know how to approach it. I think, well, I should just do what I always do, which is what I should do, but I also think I ought to, like, do some kind of little background or something to kind of make you feel welcome and include you here. See, and if I chop up my videos, it's because I go out on tangents, and I like to make a point, and I'm not very good at staying focused because I have adult attention deficit disorder, probably amongst many other disorders, and I refuse to take medication, poison for any of it. Alright, so how do I explain what I do here? Oh, as an artist, I've been struggling with that for years now, and this is not going to be any better explanation than any other explanations. But essentially what I am is a...
Sleep Number memory foam bed is the perfect combination of cool, contouring foam and the unique adjustability of the Sleep Number bed. The Sleep Number bed...
Pop folk art, outsider editorial cartoon fine art artists. That's exactly what I am, a pop folk outsider editor. You can interchange outsider and folk. People are going to hate that. But pop, it's like saying neo. I don't even like that anymore. Pop, Chicken George came up with that, and I like that. Pop, it's like contemporary something. Why didn't you just say contemporary? Because I hate that too. I don't know. So this is the normal. This is my normal introduction. I just do art to keep me entertained, and in exchange for what? No, I'm not exchanging anything. I use the art.
What you are.
Be what you are.
Live the life.
Live the life.
God knows your heart.
God knows your heart.
You
You
can't
can't get by.
get back.
Coming back.
You got to go. Be what you are. And live the life.
I think that bug bite's going to turn into a flesh-eating disease. This is horrible. How? Must be spider bite. That's not good. Sometimes I wear wrestling masks, and the cheap ones like this, one of the first ones I got are actually more comfortable than some of the more expensive ones with more stitching and better fabric. They all cut into your eyes. I think real wrestlers have really tiny eyes, because all the masks I own cut right into my eyes. I don't see how anybody could go out there and beat one another up. And for sports, I'm not in football or basketball or baseball, but I like when the guys get into the cage and they beat each other up. There's just something about that that appeals to me, and I think it's wrong that it appeals to me, but nonetheless it appeals to me. This introduction is not working out so well, but this is what you get. So what do you get if you come back? I'll have a painting ready to put at the end of this video. I collect records, okay? So I go out and I look for records, and I have too many of them, but that's beside the point. Like this mask. This mask, this is my character Little Davy, but I'm not going to go into the Little Davy. Little Davy was based on the story about this dwarf I knew when I was a kid. His name was Davy. He was a great kid, a sensible kid, and the idea was there was a dog, and then what if a dog? You have a dog and you think it's a nice dog, but then the dog does something totally irrational, like dogs have a tendency to do. Then suddenly it's a dog, an evil dog, the one evil dog from hell in your life. Anyway, that's where this came from. So that's another thing that doesn't make any sense. I start talking about hoarding. So I'll do that, but the records I collect are from the 50s and 60s and 70s, but it's not pop. It is pop music, but it's not mainstream. There's this secondary type of music going on at the time when people were, like I was growing up and people were collecting Hendrix and Joplin and the Stones. There was this stuff called Exotica and easy listening. Oh, the one thing I meant to talk about today and almost completely forgot. The only bit of news that rises above the complete silliness that is soon to follow, or already has raised its ugly head. I have no idea. Is records. I collect records. I probably went into that at some point. I don't know, before or after this. I collect records and I blog records, and generally everybody. Well, generally the blog is ignored resolutely, but sometimes people leave comments that are very nice, and only on the most rare occasions does anybody fly off the handle, and it's just really extremely rude. Well, I got one of those comments yesterday, and I wouldn't just let it go, because why lose sleep over it? But this was humorous, this comment. I'll read you the comment first, okay? But this blog is a great big shit. Where's the link to download the album? Only a stupid as you not puts the link to download here. Get this stupid blog and put in your big fucked ass. Well, he didn't read the fine print that I post with the blog that explains why there's not always a file, okay, to download. Anyway, but that's beside the point. The point is that, and I'm doing this from memory, I got to go back and refresh my memory, but it was a bossa nova album from the early 60s that he wanted to download. The title of the album was How Insensitive. It just cracked me up. Here's a foreigner, apparently, foul-mouthed, a horrible person from another country, apparently, gotta be, because why would anybody else take the time? Who's trying to download sort of an easy listening bossa nova album from the early 60s titled How Insensitive, and leaves this comment. Isn't it ironic and humorous? I thought it was. The process of doing the art to entertain other, hopefully, got a bug bite, what the hell? Where'd that come from? To entertain other people. So this is the normal intro, but not like Perry Como and all those guys. I don't go for that. I go for this really sort of weird off-brand stuff. And there's space age light pop, sort of started in the very late 50s and early 60s, like Neil Hefti's Batman. That's a perfect example of the theme for Batman. high art when it comes to 60s space age light pop. My wife hates it. She says it's barbaric. I look at her and say, it's art. Look at the art form. And it's freedom of choice. You know, these guys are free to do, and they do what they want. It's not like they're being forced to do it. They do it because they want to do it, and that's the way I look at life. Let people do what they want to do, and if they get beat up, let them deal with it. Statement, you know, I abstract all this information and distill it, and I'll make some sort of, and sometimes the statement's purely, what's the word? Absurdist, that's what I was looking for. The word I was looking for was absurdist. So the point of this video is that no matter how I sit down, the 5 or 6 times I've tried to sit down to make this video, nothing, it makes no sense, and it's a very poor start, I think, starting point for new subscribers. And now we're going to go to the other attempts at doing some kind of explanation of what I do here. The more absurd the better, and I've studied that. I kind of figured out how can you make something even more absurd than it already is. Because everything, if you look around you, if you stop and take a breath and look around you, everything's pretty freaking absurd. You think I can get a real job doing this? No, this is why I wear this, so nobody will hire me. So I make up this abusive stories about how I treated little baby. I treated him with respect. Even before I knew what respect was, I understood like subconsciously that all people need to be treated, regardless of what they frickin' look like on the cover of the book, with an introductory level of respect. And then I'm just throwing this piece in here now. It's on the dog thing again. I'm just on the dog thing today. And I've always had this. Did I do this? Or did I cut it out? I can't remember. This, you know, laying in bed, there with the pug, Hoover the Wonder Pug, otherwise known as Badass Hoover, laying in bed. And I'm thinking to myself, if an alien came into the room tonight and he saw this symbiotic relationship between me and the pug, with the alien freak, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you went to another planet and you saw an alien with their pet, if they have the same kind of relationship, it'd be like this squirmy thing, like crawling on this other thing, bug-like thing with 8 legs and shit. You'd freak out too. So I take these ideas and I make paintings out of them. In this case, it's the alien putting the force field, coming down, putting the force field around your dog, and then taking the dog, because the alien can't stand it any more than you can stand a slimy thing crawling on an 8-legged insect-like alien creature, and tries to alter the dog, genetically atomic on the atomic structure, superstructure of what the dog, it's just something that can stand. That's what this painting's all about. Now, see, I wasn't going to go into that. How's this video going to work out? I got to put the painting in here. Never mind. Turn this thing off. This is just stupid. this stupid bug bite. What the hell? Where did it come from? Sometimes I wear fake hair.